This is Joe from McDully's, and I'm here today to go over the second challenge that's keeping you from meeting your 2 financial goals. If you remember from the first video, if you haven't seen it yet, please go back and watch. And if you're going back to watch, please click that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. So now, your first 2 financial goals are time freedom and financial freedom. Because if you don't have a goal in mind, you'll work till you die. And everybody wants to live a life that's more than just going to work and paying bills. Life is more than that. And your life shouldn't be lived like a halftime show, meaning this: you work and for a halftime show, you get 2 weeks off in a year. That's not living. So now, in the second video, I talked about inflation, which was the constant rise of goods and services. Now, because of this pandemic, it disrupted the nation and many businesses had to shut down. So now that as many of them are reopening, you got to take into account that now they are going to raise the prices. Many of you have already seen that raise in prices of goods and services. And you got to ask yourself, well, if they continue to raise the price of items, how am I going to be able to afford it? Because if I was barely making it before this pandemic, what am I going to do, or how am I going to be able to buy the goods and services that I'm accustomed to? So now, to make matters even worse, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the second obstacle is taxes. So you think about it, inflation allows you not to have much buying power. So now, taxes, we call that in our group the chainsaw massacre, because it's going to cut you right in the beginning. Because you look on the dollar, it says, "In God we trust." And that's the truth. Because they know God ain't coming down taking nothing from them. But they don't trust the American taxpayer. So before you get paid, they get paid. And so you think about it. A third of your income is going to taxes right off the bat. Now, not only do you get federal taxes, you got state taxes, you got FICA, you got Social Security, then you got sales taxes, you got ad valorem taxes, you got property taxes, you got taxes out there. You can't even die without paying your final death tax. And if you're leaving an inheritance, they got to pay taxes on what you're leaving. So you cannot escape taxes, but you can mitigate taxes. So the wealthy, it's not that they don't pay, some of them don't, but it's only because the way the laws that are written. So if you follow the law of the land, you reap the benefits of the law. So when politicians, for instance, when Hillary Clinton tried to bust out Donald Trump about him not paying taxes in 2016, he responded with, that makes him smart.
Maybe he doesn't want the American people, all of you watching tonight, to know that he's paid nothing in federal taxes, because the only years that anybody's ever seen were a couple of years when he had to turn them over to state authorities when he was trying to get a casino license, and they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So if he's paid zero, that means zero for troops, zero for...
So regardless of how you feel about him, and you got the major corporations like Amazon and Ford and all them who pay little to no taxes, even though they're billion-dollar companies, you got to ask yourself, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What do they know that I don't know? You see, you have to follow the law. And the way the law is written in a way to where if you want your money, follow the law. So whatever the government want you to do, they give you what's called a tax incentive or a tax break. So, for instance, married couples get tax breaks over single people. Children with kids get tax breaks or incentives over uh, people without children. Homeowners get tax breaks over renters. Those who drive electric vehicles get tax breaks over people who drive gasoline vehicles. Matter of fact, you can get a gas guzzler tax if you got one of them high powered cars that is a high gas consumer vehicle. So with that being said, that was a whole lot. So with that being said, what are you doing to mitigate the amount of taxes that you pay? Because out of all those taxes, you have complete control over the most important one, and that is your income tax. You have the ability to control how much you give the U.S. government. But the problem is, no one has taught us how to do it, why to do it, and how at the end of the year, you and the IRS should be giving each other a high five. You didn't pay them any more than what you owe, and they don't give you anything in return. Because a tax refund, if you break it down, meaning again, fund meaning money, is a tax refund is basically your money again, or your tax money again. So it's not that the government is giving you this big old check. No, you overpaid the government. So you use them as a bootleg savings account that earn zero interest. But instead, they use your money to make money and then give you anything on top of the money that they made. So the question becomes, are you going to continue to be used, or are you going to play by the rules? Because it's your choice. As a matter of fact, the IRS on the Taxpayers Bill of Rights, I want to say it's number 3, says that you, the taxpayer, have the right to not overpay your taxes, to only pay what you owe, basically. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm going to put it up for you to see for yourself. So don't listen to that person who's doing your taxes say, oh, if you want a bigger tax refund, once they say refund, just stop. Just stop them. Like, nope, I want my money throughout the year so I can get out of debt and invest. Because if you don't invest in you, who else is going to do it? Because at the end of the day, Social Security is social insecurity. That should be spending money, not living money. So get those taxes under control, and it's not hard to do. Don't worry, I'm going to give you the solution. Not right now, but I'm going to come to you again with another obstacle. But once you look at the 4 obstacles, it's going to all make sense, because you got to understand, everyone has been conditioned. Everyone has been conditioned to fail. But then when the truth comes or is presented to them, now you have the choice. Do I go with the truth, or do I continue to work a system that's not working for me? It's not. Because the more money you make, the more taxes they take. I'm going to say that again. The more money you make, the more taxes they take. So it's not about how much money you make, it's how much you keep. So if you find yourself, I got to go get a second job or a third job, it's only because you're trying to make up the difference from what they took in taxes. If you had all that money, you wouldn't have to go get a second job. Because think about it. If your gross is $50,000 and they take a third of that, you only bring home $30-something thousand a year, which is crazy. So your net looks gross. But then once you go to get a loan, car loan, or home loan, credit cards, they want to know your gross or your annual salary. But you don't ever bring that home. So whatever you get in credit, you're upside down in the beginning. And now you got to go find a way to make up that difference. But I'm going to show you how to do it. Once again, it's been real. It's been fun. Stay tuned. And I'll be back shortly with video number 3 of your 4 financial obstacles. So once again, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you later. God bless you. Bye.